ISO FileMaker Magazine, the professional's resource for FileMaker know-how. Hello there and welcome back to yet another FileMaker tutorial video where we are going to learn about InspectorPro 8. In this video, I have a conversation with a longtime friend and fellow developer, Vince Manano. One thing to be aware of is the version that we are showing in this video at the time of the recording is Mac only, meaning it only runs on the Macintosh version of FileMaker Server. I am desperately waiting for the Linux version. They're working on that, and then they will have the Windows version ready as well. Also, if you are interested, there is a code which will give you a discount. You can find that in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube, or the description will come up on the video as well. And for the most part, it's FileMaker Magazine. So if you're over at the Beeswax website and you do want a copy of InspectorPro, make sure and get your 20% off and get in really quick because this is a wonderful tool. Let's head to the video. All right, thanks for joining me here on my desktop. As you can see all the way up there, and we'll see if Vince can, he did. He got it in the right direction. Longtime friend, I've known Vince for a long time, and we are looking at, as I mentioned in the intro, Inspector 8. Now, I'm going to be honest, I have not used Inspector 8 for a long time, but I saw Vince's video that Vince had done with a user group, and I was like, oh my gosh. Really? It does that? It does, like, I don't know if it's exactly diffs or whatever. Vince is going to tell us, but we're going to walk you through getting this installed. So Vince, welcome to the video here. Thank you. You are going to tell me what to do, and I am going to do it.
Okay. Well, you downloaded it already.
I did do that.
Yeah. So 8 is now, there's a lot of changes in 8. And one of them is the fact that we're also on a annual subscription plan. So when you download it, you have to get a key to run it. So you'll have received that key in an email, and you just have to pop that into the solution. So when you open the file, the best way to use it is really to have it hosted on a server because it runs in the background. You can run it locally as well, but that means just you have to wait for it to be done. And if you're working in FileMaker, it ties up your work. So best to have it hosted.
Okay, and I've got that hosted. I'm going to take a look here. I'm going to go look at my. It looks like I'm looking down, but I'm actually looking off at another screen. I'm looking at Activity Monitor here, trying to see what's. Oh yeah! Wow. If you've got a little bit of static because of Vince's audio, it is because of all of the stuff that I'm doing, recording Vince, my audio, his audio, running FileMaker, all kinds of other stuff. So I apologize if that's happening, if it's a little bit staticky. But the Mac should be able to handle it here. All right, so we've got this running in FileMaker Server, and there's a few things we need to set up, right? You mentioned that I do need to turn on OData?
Yes.
So that, if you don't know, in FileMaker Server, and by the way, you want to run, if you're a real FileMaker developer, you should be using a FileMaker development server, and preferably local, not developing on something that's really far away that has a lot of latency. So we're going to go to the connectors here, and then the OData is what we are going to turn on, because Vince mentioned that it's probably using OData for the communication. So once you've got that turned on, you should be good to go. Now I need to use the manual, right, to get into the file?
Yes. Yes.
And that is going to be opened right here. And what I like to do is I just come in and I do a search. So there's the little search icon that you can use. I do a search for just the word password. The one thing that everybody searches for if you're a hacker. And then it is right there in the document. That's what we need, right? Inspector and INSP. Is that right, Vince?
InspectorPro, INSP 8. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to switch to FileMaker. I'm at the login already. Don't worry about the lock icon there. I'm just going to copy the credentials here and get into the file. And a temporary password. Sign in is going to prompt me for my new password. And I'm just going to do what I've got on this dev server. This action cannot be performed because this file has multiple hard links and is not modifiable. This file may be part of a backup. You know what? That is my fault. We're going to take care of that.
No problem.
So you find yourself asking the question, where should you host your FileMaker solution? Well, one of those dots right there. That's what I would pick. Now, they didn't come to me. I went to them. And I trust fmcloud.fm with all of my data. They are using the latest tech. In fact, did you know Claris is actually, in some instances, releasing features first and only for Linux. What does fmcloud.fm use? They use Linux. On top of that, they use containerization. And if you've not heard about containerization, then you will be. It's one of the best ways to host your FileMaker solution. I highly suggest that you check out fmcloud.fm. All right, we're back. Fixed that issue is because of how I installed FileMaker Server. So, Inspector, we've got it loaded up. I changed the password to just simple admin, and I have to log in with the user account of InspectorPro. I can change that, Vince, or no?
Yeah, you can change it, and then you can also add additional users.
Okay, so it's just normal FileMaker. I would be able to go to Manage, Security, and change that.
You would go to just change password. For some reason, because we stripped away admin privileges, getting into that dialog has problems. And so yeah.
So I would normally
just change password.
Just do the password, because that's grayed out for me. But but I can't get into the security, so
yeah. Good luck changing password. But you can set up additional users.
Okay.
That's for sure. So, yeah.
All right. And, I'm sure you'll get that bug fixed if that's something that, unless I caused it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got Inspector. What do I need to do now to my file? I've got a file. Let me get that open. We'll open up recent, and it's just a shut up, FileMaker. Get in here, and let's open up the file directly. What you're normally going to see here, you're normally not going to do. I'm just basically, because I'm running a local copy of FileMaker, I am, or FileMaker server, I should say. I'm just going directly to the file and ignoring that dialog that FileMaker is throwing up here. But I now have my solution, and I have InspectorPro running. Take it away, Vince. What do I need to do now?
Okay. First thing you'll want to do is you'll want to create a solution in Inspector. So the top right button where it says Add New Solution.
Do I not have to do the add-on that you were mentioning?
You can do that in a little bit, because you'll need the solution ID first, and then once you have the add-on, we'll plug in the solution ID so that it knows how to tell Inspector what solution this belongs to.
Okay, so I'm just going to click this button, Solution.
Yep.
All right.
And get a card window. This would be straightforward.
So I can just call this invoice solution, or whatever the name of the solution is.
Yeah.
Don't need a Slack webhook.
Yeah, this has integration with Slack to send notifications when it's processing. And so if you don't have that, you don't have to turn it on. The other option is to generate history data. So for example, that option, you would turn it on if you want to track changes. So who changed what, etc. But sometimes people just want, they don't want that. They just want to see the state of their solution and where things are referenced, and they don't care who changed it because they're the only person who's changing things. So there's that option to disable it.
That's if I'm working with a group or a team.
Yeah.
Multiple people.
Yeah, or individually.
AI, you mentioned that you can wire this up with ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's right. And I'll just briefly talk about it. What it allows you to do is basically it's just integrated with scripts right now. And so what it does is it takes the textual representation of a script, sends it to ChatGPT or other provider. You can fill it out by choosing a different provider as well. And
now it's using the XML, right?
No, we parsed at this point. when we get to that point where we integrate with ChatGPT, we've already parsed all the XML and turned it into data in different tables inside Inspector.
Okay,
And
so it's not like the re-login step where I might have a password in there. That's not going to get sent to ChatGPT.
No, it's just it's just a textual representation of your script. So like set field, set variable, loop, if, all the textual representation of your script.
Okay, and then everything right here, is there things I need to fill out?
Yeah, just the file name of the file that you're integrating with.
So it has does it have to be exact?
No, not necessarily. This file name is also used by the integration from within Inspector, and we can cover that in a little bit. So yeah, it has to be the same file name of your file.
What's the INSP and process XML localhost? What's the password here for?
That is the default password for the integration. Let me think now. That is the
is it for
that's the trigger for OData. That's the OData password.
Okay.
So that what happens is the file that you have will perform script on server. It will generate the XML, and then it will say to Inspector, it will basically send a call to OData and say, oh, by the way, I need you to run this process for this solution, and here's the, it hands it off, and then it's done. And then what happens is Inspector kicks in and runs, so that it's kind of like working in the background.
Okay, so we should probably...
There's a reason why we did it.
We should probably cover sort of the low-level fundamentals that, for me as a developer or any other developer or even intermediate developers that are watching this. So my solution, ultimately, something has to come out of my solution, and I'm assuming that you are using the new... Where is it? Oh, my tools. I don't have FileMaker tools turned on. Let me get that booted up really quickly here while we talk about it.
Okay.
You tell me what is going on with regards to the process. I need to turn on my advanced tools because this is a copy of FileMaker here. We'll get back in really quick here. Tell me at a fundamental level what the sequence is, because XML is coming out of my solution, and then how is Inspector picking it up? There's multiple ways, I presume?
Yeah, there are. And I think it makes most sense to kind of actually watch it do the work, because there's 3 different integrations that are possible. And so, yeah, like what you would do normally is let's just finish with the process of creating the solution. And then once we have the solution, we'll have a solution ID. We'll go into your file, we'll add the add-on, and we'll take it from there to see how it works. So,
okay. So I've got my solution and I've got Inspector. Did it remember that I had created a solution or no?
We canceled. We canceled. We canceled.
So I never did the process. Invoice solution. All right. We covered everything there, and this can just get invoice solution. And the reason I was asking is because I know that this file has to kick out some XML, but if you're using OData, and I know you've got an add-on and whatever, I just wanted to get sort of solid with the fact that something has to be in my FileMaker file that tells it to kick out the XML, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and create the solution in Inspector.
All right. So that's just click the create now.
Yeah. And now you'll have a row.
Okay.
It has a solution ID on the far left. If you want to zoom in there, you'll see what that number is.
This is solution 585.
Yeah. And so for all intents and purposes, that's the number you're going to, put into your solution, and I'll explain that. So now go into your solution, and now let's add the add-on. So go into layout mode.
Okay.
And then open up the sidebar there to add an add-on.
Where is
So I
that? I'm
think
so used to those being on. Inspectors, that is objects, fields tab. They changed that in FileMaker. I'm used to Command K, but they changed it to Option Command K now in this version of FileMaker because Open Quickly is working.
yeah.
Add-ons.
So click on add-ons, and then at the bottom there's a little plus icon where you
And
can't
I
see
am
because
blocking
you're
that for
standing in
everyone.
front of it.
Get her.
Yeah, there you go. Like there it is. There it is.
Right there, right there.
Okay.
There's it.
And so you click on that, and then you go ahead and
I'm gonna
add InspectorPro.
Do I need to? Is that here, or did I need to add that to FileMaker?
I think you need to add it, but I thought you could just add it from here directly. Can't you just say add, or you have to bring it into?
I think you have to double click it. So
yeah,
the add-on in FileMaker, what you have to do is, let's hide that. This add-on right here, I have to double click this. FileMaker recognizes this extension, and I was blocking that. Probably you were blocking that. And then that puts it into FileMaker. Hopefully it does this without me having to restart FileMaker. We shall see.
Yeah, try it.
All right.
Okay. Now go
to
add-ons.
I saw the screen. Now we'll click on that and see if it's there. It is right there.
Okay.
So
yeah, there you go.
All right.
So choose that. It usually has an icon. I don't know why it doesn't have the icon right now, but
my development machine's got multiple copies of FileMaker Server, and so it could be me.
Okay, so now that you have the add-on, what it's already done is it's added a couple of scripts, it's added a table, it's added a layout, and now what you can do is you can just drag.
Added this table. And let's check out the scripts. We go into the scripts, and let me collapse everything here. So it added this folder.
Yeah.
Right there. Sorry, I always like to know exactly what's going on when things are done to my file. So we've got basically 3 scripts and a divider.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, and a table, and then probably maybe if you did value lists or whatever else can come with an add-on. But it's all all identified with the INSP prefix?
Believe so, yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the layout. I believe so.
So I should be able to just do searches for INSP. And with FileMaker new one here, let's do a search. INSP. So we've got a layout. There's an InspectorPro data inspector and a C. And there's the 3 scripts and then the files. Good. All right.
Okay.
I'm comfortable.
All right. So now you just drag the icon over to the layout. It'll add a button, and it'll automatically be connected to the script to bring up a card window.
I've got to show my I don't know. It's because this is a brand new file here. That's why my inspector isn't even showing. But I've just got to check. I have to do it. Okay. You know what I'm seeing, right? You're like, if I put this on my layout, I'm not hiding it. Maybe I just added something.
You don't want to hide it.
I've just added something to my layout there. Process. Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. User. Click process.
Well, you'd probably want to do it so that it's dev only.
Yeah, you're probably gonna, if you're a FileMaker developer and you don't already know this, you're not gonna add this to your layout. You maybe will while you're developing, but most often you're gonna have a some type of function where you can use the hide object when calculation and hide that so that it only shows for your developers, but you can still have it in the UI, which makes it convenient. All right, so we've got that.
Okay. All right. So now that you have that, it's basically wired up to the process. And
how does this know that number 585 that I have over here?
That's what we're going to tell it now. So go to browse mode.
Okay.
And when you click it, it's going to run the script, and it's going to pull down a card window, and that's where you put the number in, the solution ID 585.
Right there. Pretty simple and easy. So I've got my inspector window open. Okay, cool. Select in here, and I just look at 585. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I could put any comment. Super simple solution.
Yeah. And usually we have a name that we give. The first solution is called the baseline. And so like that's the first analysis. It gobbles up everything. So, call it baseline analysis, whatever. But so there it is. And you're ready to roll. So the thing with this is if you run it, what it'll do is it'll communicate with, so it runs PSOS on the server. And right now it's set up to run on the same server. We're looking in the future to be able to have your solution be on one server, Inspector be on another server, and then all that logic just happens.
Except I got an InspectorPro plugin IP. Was I missing an installation step where I needed to install a plugin?
Oh, you know what? Maybe on the server you didn't have the option to allow plugins to install. Can we check that? Maybe
yeah, we absolutely can.
Yeah,
We'll switch over to FileMaker Server here. This is good that we're going through this because these are the things that can be frustrating. I would assume this is a brand new install of a FileMaker Server, so I would assume that, yes, it is probably disabled. Right there, server plugins.
Is it disabled? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a security issue.
Yeah.
So in order to rectify this, do I need to shut Inspector down, or would I have to shut FileMaker Server down?
No, you could just turn it on. Okay. And then
and now I have to make sure and turn that on as well.
What is that one? I don't know.
The install plugin file step. So now I've just enabled plugins. Now I need to enable so that InspectorPro, which I'm guessing has a plugin in a container or downloads from the web into a container, needs to install that. So this absolutely needs to be something that you do as part of your setup. But then after your setup, you're going to come back in and from a security standpoint, disable this because you don't want any FileMaker solution to arbitrarily be able to install. But with Inspector, we do need it to install the plugin.
Right.
So do I just need to relaunch this or restart FileMaker Server? Let's do that.
No, I don't think you need to restart FileMaker Server. You could just go back to your solution and just
run again.
Just click the run it again, and it checks to see if the plugin is there. If it's not there, it installs it. So just type a message and then just hit return. Okay, so should run. There it goes.
But the license code, which we will get that fixed right now. All right, we got that license entered. I'm using the demo license that was sent, and I'm going to click this process, and we're going to get this going. Let's see what it says here. Processing core data. I do have some funky text down at the bottom here.
Oh, that's a bug that we noticed after we released, and that's already fixed.
Nice.
So, okay, so that's done. So there's your basically your first analysis.
All right.
And
show me the cool. Tell me where to go for the cool stuff.
Okay. Well, you see the kind of gauge icon on the left there, next to your solution name.
I see the face.
Yeah. So
I got two problems.
Yeah. We'll find the problems in a little bit. So go to the gauge icon, which is next to the solution name on the left.
Oh, the gear?
No, that's a solution kind of options, but the actual dashboard is the second icon. Yeah,
got it.
So that'll bring up the dashboard, and so this dashboard has the ability to do global search, which is in the top there. Yeah, so the global search allows you to search for schema. It allows you to search for calculations, and it allows you to search across notes that you type in, and anywhere basically.
Is this
history?
Is this all one body part on a list view?
That
it is. It's all a big body with a portal here.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hide the header. For some reason, the header shouldn't be showing in this view. So little things that we have to fix. But yeah, so the status area basically, you can hide that.
So these are all popovers?
So yeah, you can navigate through the popover, or what I can explain is the view that we currently have in the dashboard, and that view, if you move the window a little bit over to the left, yeah, right there. Okay, perfect. So you'll have these gray bars, and you'll have a set of different columns. So you'll have on the far right, you'll have
The number of items?
the totals of item, 125 fields. Is that right?
Yeah.
Uh,
It's this is
yeah,
one of the starter solutions from that I'd worked on with Chris at iSolutions.
yeah. So 125, 125 fields. If you look to the percentage unreferenced, you have 21 fields, and then there's like you see, like some of these gray bars, like these visual that you'll see. So you have the percentage and the bar. So all that's telling you is basically you have maybe 23% of your code in fields are unused. They're not referenced anywhere. And you have to take that. I mean, I guess you would take that with a grain of salt, because you could have fields where you're setting them via indirection. You could use fields with strings, literal strings, where you reference them in SQL. So there are ways to determine that. That was doing a better job in Inspector 7, and we're going to bring that over sometime soon. But right now, it's just telling you that at a face value, those 21 fields are not referenced anywhere, meaning they're not in scripts, like a set field in a script. They're not in calculations, where you use a field in a calculation. They're not on layouts. They're not in value lists, relationships, et cetera, right?
So this
And the same
percentage,
goes for,
this is a
yeah,
percentage of unuse or use?
no, that's
Being
a percentage of unused.
okay. So like if
20,
this
yeah,
if for me
23%.
if this said unused percent instead of just
Yeah,
percent, I might be able to.
yeah. That's definitely improvements that we can make there in the UI. So basically, once you get in, you can
So this is saying
go to fields or
16, the
scripts.
16 custom functions are 100% unused.
Um, that might be a bug, actually. Honestly, I'd have to take a look and see. Um, where do you use the custom functions?
It's not my again. It's not my solution, but that makes sense with those. None of those are probably going to be used. I pasted these
Uh,
in probably,
okay,
but I know that they're using format. So this is I modified the original version of this, and I use it for showcasing
okay,
things. So that is likely. Got a lot of windows going on
okay.
here. We'll get the
Yeah,
FileMaker server out of the way, and we'll go back to our window.
yeah. So
What's the little
let's
warning
go
icon that we've got
to.
here? Script step 1%. I can click it, right?
You can go ahead and click on it, yeah, and that tells you the two steps that have problems. So those are your two problems. You can click on the warning icon, and on the left there, and now we'll bring up a popover that
Mm.
tells you like. So there's what is that? Is that a go to layout?
I like the use of the emojis that you're using here.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, we're trying to be a little bit more specific about the problems, and so yeah.
Well, hopefully you ask Apple that you can use the color emoji font over on Windows for everybody who's opening this on Windows.
Okay, good reminder there, Matt. Thanks. So, all right. Well, if you go to what is that? Is that script called open? No, is that the script called open file? What is
No,
that?
it's they've got a close file and a get solutions training, which
Oh,
I know
okay.
that they do in
So
here. it's this script that
So
they have right here, and there's the broken one right
there's
there.
the problem.
So basically,
Yeah,
I mean, it just allows you to see. I mean, like any of the other two that I've only used FM Perception. I haven't used yours, unfortunately, as much, but it's just going to give you the name of what you need, and then you can go to it. But you've got incredible UI on this relative to FM Perception, for sure. Incredible.
Okay, well, go ahead and go in the solution and fix it. Go into the solution.
All right, so I'm over here. I open up my scripts.
Go to the problems.
And
go fix it. Just choose a layout. Just choose any layout.
Or I just get rid of it, right?
Okay, get rid of it. That solves the problem. And then what was the other problem?
The other problem is, I was on my dashboard and I had clicked on the arrow, and then I clicked on it's a closed file. So go to layout on the closed file. No, but there's
the other one. The other script is right underneath it, right there. It says the name of the script is what?
Well, this is the one that I fixed first. This is the one that I need to fix now. So we'll go to close.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Close file right there. There it is right there. So there's my broken. Okay. Go to a blank utility layout. Okay, fine. Let's actually fix this one. Let's see if they've got a blank in here. They don't have anything named blank. Sorry, I'm not super familiar with the solution here, but I'm going to go to the splash as part of my close.
Okay. All right. Save it.
Fixed those.
Okay. So now go to your solution, and now click the button to process. And say fix 2 bugs, and then hit return. Don't hit the button, just hit return.
Oh, so don't hit run analysis?
Yeah, just hit return. So like you can type a message, hit return, and it's out of the way. Those bugs are gone, by the way.
And so it actually refreshed this in front of me?
Yes. So that's the big deal. So one step was the same step, but it now has a layout, so that's no longer a problem, right? And if you go to the dashboard, you'll see more problems.
Okay, that's cool. But you're refreshing how are you refreshing your layout real time?
Well, because we are no longer importing everything every time. We are just finding the changes and updating what's changed.
Huh.
Right? To me, that's the biggest feature of 8, which is because we're using save as XML, and save as XML has a new structure. That structure has a catalog structure. Those catalogs kind of encompass the components that are inside it. So if you were to open up the XML for your file, you would see script catalog, layout catalog, et cetera, et cetera. The script catalog has a modification count, timestamp, a username, account name, and a UUID. And what we do is if you were to go to catalogs, right there, the next icon in the dashboard at the top.
And by the way, I just want to mention for the viewers, I apologize for Vince's lip sync issues. It's because my computer's doing a lot of things, so his words aren't matching what you're seeing on the video there.
So the catalogs are all the listed catalogs that are in your solution, and then it tells you the information as to who changed it and when, etc. So down at the bottom there, you'll see a script catalog somewhere, I believe.
Yeah, I'm actually blocking it, which will move that off, and that's right here.
So that one there, and there it has your name on the far right. Has a few other things too. You made some other changes maybe to the layout because I don't remember now if we made changes to the layout, but FileMaker is kind of interesting. So you remember how you can early on, you could name a field and then you change your mind, you rename the field. Well, what happens to the label on the layout if you rename the field?
Oh, right? This is I saw this video. God, it was a fun video to watch. Yeah. It's on YouTube, right? And it's is it force field? What's it called?
It's force field. It's the force, something about the force, but
Yeah,
basically there's like
there's a
an
surrounding, there's an
elliptical.
area surrounding a field that as soon as you go out a certain distance, it's
Yeah.
very cool.
And so what happens is it looks at the field that's on the layout, and it realizes like, oh, this field has like a text label that matches the label for the field of this field, and so the field name has changed. It'll rename that field. So let's say you had a process invoice, and now you change it to view invoice for that field name. If the text label is within that elliptical area, it'll rename that label for that field.
Yeah.
Which it's frustrating because technically you did not change that layout. You did not go in as a developer, make a change to that layout. But FileMaker behind the scenes made a change to that layout. Thus, the layout catalog got also changed by you indirectly. And so that's something I constantly argue with Clay about, which is like, you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, designers would drive designers nuts. Like, you changed my layout. I designed it this way. Why'd you change the label, or what, rename
I
the
didn't.
label
All I
or
did is
whatever?
rename the field.
Yeah. So that's a byproduct.
I'm going to see if Heidi
okay.
fixes this. Probably not, because I'm actually recording a Zoom screen, so I think your lip sync is just going to be off.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the main screen in Inspector.
That's dashboard, or do I click the back arrow?
Like actually, just hang on a second, because right here we have a little icon on the bottom.
The
right.
time one.
Yeah, that's the history icon, view history. So if you click on that, you should see the history of changes to that script. So let's see, what does it say here? The script existed, and then the script had modification changes, and it had a username change.
Okay. Now the biggest thing for me that I saw when I saw your demo was you're just doing small amounts. Like, from my understanding, previous versions of Inspector, you always, like on a large solution, it would be painful because you exported the whole XML and then had to process the whole XML. And then every time you wanted it, you had to do it. Are you doing the same thing, but you're looking for differences in the XML?
No, what we're doing is the first analysis gobbles up everything. So if you have a large system, it may take a few minutes, it may take lot more than a few minutes, but eventually it'll be done. And then what we do when you run it again is it processes the catalogs first. And then once it sees which catalogs have changed, then it goes into the items of the catalog and processes those. And then it sees which of the items in the catalog have changed, and then it processes those items.
Okay, so
for example, we could
this
do
is cool. This is way cool, because you're basically just looking at more or less, it's like diffing. You're looking at just the differences of just the things that are affected. So it's like fast.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the really big deal of 8 is in the past, if you had a large system, it could be 500,000 items and dependency records and all this. You bring it in the first time, it's 500,000 rows of data across all the tables. You bring it in again, it's another 500,000. Now you're at 1,000,000 rows. You bring in 10 more analyses, it's like, wow, 5 million rows of data, everything, and the thing gets slower because it's all these indexes that are also being updated. In this version of Inspector, the first time is the 500,000 rows. Now you do it again, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, if you refactored code and you're removing code, it's fewer records. It's getting smaller. Your footprint is getting smaller in Inspector. If you're adding code, it's going to grow by whatever you've added. So it's never going to grow like dramatically unless you actually make a lot of changes and stuff. So it's going to be one-to-one based on what you have.
Nice.
So So
So,
let's
and
take a look at another example.
great for teams. I mean, the fact that you can look at what people
Yeah.
did, and the fact that you can automate this as well. You can automate it so that when the solution is updated or on a frequency, right?
You can run it with a script schedule, and the script schedule is very easy to set up. Basically, it's a little JSON parameter that includes the solution ID, and then that can run every minute, every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes. And so you could be just doing development in your system, and behind the scenes, it's tracking, what's changed and what's different about it. So let's go ahead and close this window.
Just the whole, that's not
and I'll show you something else.
Oh, that's right, because the inspector main is open.
Still there. Yeah. So that's you have one solution, but again, you can track multiple solutions in it, etc. Go ahead and go to the layout of your solution.
I like that. You went from the O to the happy face. That's comforting. I'm sorry, what did you say?
So go to your solution and let's make some changes to a layout. Like go to some random layout.
Go to clients.
Okay, yeah, and so it's okay okay. Let's do first off. Let's just do some layout attribute changes. So let's go to the layout attributes for this layout.
Okay, let's go to the icon. Layout setup.
Yeah, and so change the name of the layout. Uncheck the include in menu layout menus. Make some of those attribute changes, and then we'll look at how those got picked up. Okay, so that's done. So now let's do something different. Okay, so let's go to Inspector and click on the little let's see, is it the little arrow between there? So that should bring up a little card window that is the integration for this solution. So now this is where I was saying you have different options for integration. So, for example, you could be in a file locally, and you've generated the XML already. And this was the way you'd work in Inspector 7. You'd generate the DDR, and then you'd say, I want to upload it. And so when you say run, it lets you choose a directory where the XML is in, and then it uploads those files. So that's still available. The other option is by window names, right? The one on the right. And so window names would allow you to type in the bottom field where it says window names, the name of every window that you have open with full access. And what it'll do is it'll cycle through all those windows and generate the save as XML output for all those windows into a specific directory. And then it'll tell Inspector, oh, go and upload those, and I'm going to process them for this solution.
So that's doing that on the client, because you've got the scripts over here. Whatever scripts you put in down here, these are going to kick out the XML?
Yeah, no, actually, it doesn't use the scripts for that integration. All it does is it uses the window name. So it uses the window name and says, you have a window name called, I forget what it's called, but that window name for your solution, what is it called?
Invoice
solution. Right? So if this solution is open with full access from Inspector, you can generate save as XML for that solution as long as you have the window name. So what it'll do is it'll go from, so you can put a list of window names if you have multi-file solution, and it'll generate all the XML for all the open files that are open with full access, and then it'll upload them to Inspector and process them. So Inspector handles solutions that are multi-file, etc. And then the middle one is the integration with the API, what you were referring to before.
And that's the one that's using OData, right?
Yeah. This one, first off, uses FMP URL to call the script inside your file. And then inside that script is a call to OData that hands off the processing.
So I got to check this. I got to go look at my file. Add-ons can't add security privileges, can they?
No, but
Because
it's
you're
not.
saying that
It's
this security privilege needs to be on the allow
no.
URLs?
Oh yeah, that needs to be on. Yes, that needs to be on. So
So
you need to turn that on. So sorry, I thought you were referring to something else.
so in order for inspector, let's get out of the dialogues here
Yeah.
so that people understand.
Mhm.
So in order for me to take advantage of the integration API, I'm probably going to set up, because I like to segment my privilege rights, a dedicated account, and that's where the account name here is the account that has whatever privileges need to be set. And the privileges that need to be set, let's go through those, are for sure you said you need the
You just
FMP URL script, but wouldn't you also, you need to turn on
no.
OData, right? For
No, OData is just for inspector.
Okay.
That's not needed there.
It's
So all you
just
need to
this
do
one?
is allow. No, the one above it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the scripts.
Yes. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
So now that you have that turned on, what you could do is from inspector you could kick off the analysis. You could type a message just like you were able to type a message in the add-on component. You type a message, hit return. You could do that from here, and if you want this to be the default setting, you would check that checkbox or
the little toggle right here.
Yeah, the tilt toggle. Set that as the default. Now, the integration API option is the default for this analysis, which means that in the future, if you don't want to type a message, you can just hold the option key down, press that little arrow icon, and it knows like, oh, okay, I just need to run it with the default option. Just run it, generate the XML, and process it.
Well, this should work because I just turned that on for this file.
Yeah.
And all it needs is, this is the right file name, I believe, and all it needs is the password, right? Which is, I just changing it here works, right? Yeah, it took it.
Yeah. So then go ahead and type a message.
I don't have any labels here, so I'm assuming that these things are
host name. And that's the
host name I got.
And that's the script that was copied on as part of the add-on.
Okay, so if I went in here and I was silly developer person and I renamed this script, I would have a problem because this is what it's looking for.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good to know. And then the file name and then my password.
Yes.
802.
Oh, 802. Let me see.
Actually, we shouldn't go through that because that's my problem with like the taking us through. I'll trust that it works because there's probably something that I don't have set up, but that's pretty awesome that it would do that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm running a actual different domain name rather than localhost.
Okay. So it might be the problem where it can't resolve that, but the FMP URL would then call that script, and that script is the add-on that we ran anyway, and we ran it already. So like we can just cancel out of here and run it from the solution just the same way.
You can always go over to the solution and just process for whatever you want to do.
Yeah, and the same thing applies here. Like if you don't want to type a message, you can just hold the option key down, press the button, and then presto, it runs without you having to get the dialogue, type a message, hit return, etc.
Okay,
so it's just like getting out of you.
So I just hold down. I would be able to hold the option key and just click process.
Yeah, that's right.
And it just
should work in the background.
Shot it off over here.
Yeah, so now I told you that you have 3 analysis, you have some modifications. So now let's go ahead and take a look. So where you see the analysis number, right?
Is that the 6 right here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you have a few options here. You can say, from the first option, you can say most recent analysis. I can look at, let's say today last 3 hours. If you click on the most recent analysis dropdown, the last 3 hours, today, yesterday, last 7 days, all the history.
Dude, all right. I'm asking you, how many hours do you have in this from the time that you started the first one?
Oh my God. Oh, you mean Inspector?
Yeah, it's got to be
years.
like in years values.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A long time.
Oh my gosh.
The other cool thing is
by username, by catalog.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
Dang.
like the default is most recent analysis, right? And then you could just run it. So most recent analysis, run it, and then you should get the list of changes that were done. Did you click it?
I did click. I did most recent, and then I clicked search.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting, unless it came up with the results. Is it just a change that shows right here, or should it be bringing up another window?
No, it should have brought up another window, and should have shown you the changes in the history. So that's odd. Show all analyses. The bottom, all analyses. Okay. Oh, because you must have. There was no changes in the last analysis, maybe.
What I had done is when I was over here, I clicked it the first time and then I entered one, but then in order to practice, I held down the option key and I clicked it and it did it again. So I added two on top of each other, so there were no changes.
It's okay. We could go back to the list of the history here, and then so you see. Okay, so
make sure that was my fault, everybody. That was not Vince's software. That was me.
Okay, so the one that you want to see is the second row. Is that because I have a hard time seeing it. It's really small.
Yeah, so we got baseline fixed to layout and whatever.
Yeah, okay, that one.
It's this one right here.
On the far left, there's a history button.
All right. Click on that. UI suggestion. I tried to double click. I want to double click.
Yeah.
I clicked.
Okay, let's send that request to FileMaker.
I'm clicking a second time. Capture the first click into a global variable if you need to of the record ID, and then I click a second time. If the record ID matches, then I go there.
Good tip. I will add that. And so, okay, so you made some changes here. We can see the layout 4, I think. I can't read it. But, okay, so you see the attributes, the 5 under layout 4?
The 5 right here?
Right there, yeah. The number 5 under the layout.
Yeah, right here?
Yeah, like there's a number. You see the number on the left?
I do, but the number's actually staying. Oh, there it changed.
Yeah.
It's an on. So you need when I select it, you're not. Sometimes it's not updating.
Oh, it must be like a row highlight thing that we're not updating on the whole row.
Yeah, not using a refresh object.
This is great, Matt. You're helping find all kinds of little quirks.
And it's documented because it's a video you can rewatch.
Go ahead and click on the 5, and that's where you'll see all your attribute changes. So we're tracking the fact that layout changed.
Oh, I never would have known that I need to click the number.
Yeah,
I would have gone over here to the icons.
Well, the icons will also give you the history of changes there, but I believe you can click on that, and it'll give you like a popover that gives you all the attribute changes. So like,
I just need a little down arrow, just a little down arrow next to the 5.
Why would you have a down arrow?
Because I didn't know I could click it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I just see a number here, and even though I hovered, there's no indication that there's something in that number. Don't we have a down arrow on this solution somewhere? Somewhere there's like down arrows, right? Let's find a solution. Where's a down arrow solution? Like a little icon.
I see. Okay.
Something with a little arrow right here. I'd click it and then be like, oh, it would come up. Sorry,
Yeah,
I have not been through Inspector, so you're getting the UI testing here as well.
it's okay. That's all right.
Show diff. Yeah, please show
Yeah.
me a
So
diff.
like, yeah,
Options. Oh, this stuff cracks me up. All the flags that they have on the XML.
yeah. Uh-huh.
I need a little bit
So
of
those are all
I
the
need a
attribute.
space
Those are
in
all the
between
attribute
here.
changes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could do a better job on the diffing part, but the diffing part, our future is really about integrating with Git. That's where we're moving towards. So we're looking to do check in to Git and leverage Git to do all that differing stuff for us because we'll never get close to what Git can do.
Oh,
So
I know.
so that's basically, capturing the changes, not only uh, because of so much detail, we're capturing the changes of where the item changed. So for example, the layout got changed, but what about the layout got changed? So there's a ton of attributes in some cases. And so we're capturing not just the layout changed, but all the attributes of what the layout attributes changed.
What I love
And
about this is there's so many ways that I can trigger this. One of the way that I work on my solution is I really, for the session that I develop, what I want to know is what did I do while I had the file open. So I'm presuming all I have to do as part of my on last window close, my shutdown script would basically be if you're a developer or a full access account, if I've closed, just go tell Inspector to run when you closed it. And each time I closed it, the solution, it basically just captured that session of development for me. Well, that's one of the ways I would like to do that. I could do that, right?
yeah, yeah, you could do that. You could just modify the your solution file to trigger the script that runs, and you could also hijack the message to include a default message that says, changes made as of today at this time, whatever. But I mean, that's time stamped anyway. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's you could get that to be automated to run that process script.
Yeah, I can assume. Yeah, you've got all the JSON. So basically, on my close, I could literally just call the script to process, pass it the correct JSON, and off it goes.
Yep.
Dang.
So let's see what else. There's
I mean, it's already. It's already cool that I'm going to be able to go in, and I love the icons. I'm going to be able to go in and look at anything. You've got a lot of windows that open here. Not a direct critique, but if I want to get back to that thing where I can see
dashboard.
Is that this right here?
That's the dash. Yeah, that's the dashboard.
And so when I select on any one of these, what's normally shows up in this area right here? Nothing.
What's coming there is a visual dashboard.
Oh, like
of
a
what
graph.
You see, like a graph, and that we have that in 7, but we didn't have enough time to complete it for 8, and that's coming. So so if you look at the layout, but we changed. So like if you click on how 30 layouts, the number of layouts.
Oh, so layout.
So you can get there, yeah, that one, and then click on the number of. Those are let's see, those reference layouts. I can't tell. Those are zeros on the far right? Because it's kind of blurry. Yeah. So what you did is. Yeah, so what you did is if you go to the layout icon in the toolbar, so
up here,
if you use you click on that, and you'll see that you have 7 layouts that are unreferenced, and you have 26 of them that have references. 26 of them in all. So if you click on, there's a number of ways to do this, but you can click on the number 26, and then you'll see all the layouts.
So I guess for anybody who's considering this, really the coolest thing is get this, run it, and then just go fix all of these. It's like fix everywhere where you've got a warning icon. Does that work?
Yeah, that works as well too.
I mean, it's not going to take care of the fact of whether you have duplicate code doing the same things or you've got, any of the common FileMaker mistakes, way too many fields in any given table. You don't have normalization. It can't advise you on that, but anything that is broken, it's gonna be able to find it.
Yeah, and we have constant suggestions and ideas that we send to Claris to help improve how the information can be surfaced for developers. So there's I mean, on a solution that is hosted, you could be working on layouts. I could be working on scripts at the same time, and that should be also something that you give some consideration for, because whoever generates the XML, whatever has been saved up at that point goes. It's not like because you generate the XML, you're sending only your changes. That's not the case. It's whatever has been saved into the file. And then whoever runs the XML, then that's what gets processed. So like if I made some script changes and you made some layout changes, I run the XML. I'll also see that you made layout changes as well as me making script changes.
Yeah, so it's almost like that. What they need to do is they sort of need to have a local cached version of just what that client did. And you can get just that chunk.
Yeah.
And submit that rather than an all or nothing gigantic XML file. It would just be, I work on, and it starts to, you went into layout mode. Okay, collect whatever I did and sort of save that into the cache, if you will, that they've got for the file itself.
Yeah. It is, we're evolving this, and we have all kinds of ideas where we want to take it. But the primary thing was to get off of DDR onto save as XML, because we feel that's kind of like the future of where things are going, and it's also scriptable. Save a copy as XML there's a script step that you can generate it via a script, and that's why you can actually run it as a schedule, because it's scriptable, it's compatible on the server, so it generates it directly on the server. If you have like this file and it's a modest size file, you generate the save as XML while it's hosted, it can be very slow to generate it locally. That's why you definitely want to take advantage of having it run PSOS, so that it generates it on the server. It's a whole lot faster.
Yeah. Anytime, wherever the bytes are. If the bytes are on server, on disk, that disk is faster than going over the network and back and forth and all the talking.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything big, major? And is there going to be something that you want me to put in the YouTube description below, a code or anything? Or I'm sure you'll give me that if you want to, and people can look down below to see if there's a code with wherever they're watching this video. If there's some type of deal or something.
Yeah. Of course, I'll get that to you, Matt.
But bare minimum, there's the link to download this and go get this.
Yes. There's let's click on the show all button. It's the second from the right.
Well, the AI stuff, one. I know you. I don't have the ability to do that, but that's pretty cool. And I'm going to tell people to go watch a video, or I'll cross-link to any video that you want that shows where you showcase that.
Yeah, I mean, I gave a lot of talks to different user groups, and there's some user groups where I did cover it and showed it, so that's fine. The couple of things that we have notes and tags. That's cool.
That's right here.
But, so like that helps you manage notes and tags. So, for example, the top button in the dark area, that gives you the ability to manage what tags you want to have for the solution. So, for example, you can choose a style of tags, and then you can type in a tag and add it. So, like on the left there,
This is a
style.
web. This has got to be a web viewer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And on the left, there's different style types of tags. On the first pop up on the left, top left, that one. So like you can traffic muted or whatever. There are different color styles, right?
Nice.
And when you choose that, you'll see the styling of each of the the different um, choices. And so what you can do is you can type in a value for the tag. So for example, the way you would use this is say, I want to refactor. I want to put a tag of refactoring or fix, and then I could choose it as one of the styles. So I want to make it like stand out. I could choose uh, you know the what is it, the style, the choice for the style, and that's giving you like warning would be and so it matches the styling at
Oh,
the
I
top,
see.
so you can see which one you're choosing, and then you just say add, and now that tag is added as part of this solution, and you can apply that tag to anything, and then you can search on tags as well, so you can then later say, oh, I want to you know I want to go search for all my scripts that have been tagged as refactor, and then go refactor them, etc.
Whoa,
So
okay.
tagging is very cool.
I
And you
was
have
gonna. I was for a second there. I was gonna say, okay. So basically, I can use regex in order for you to look across all of my scripts that have the @to-do and just automatically apply a tag, right? I'm guessing not quite yet, but
not quite yet.
it would be possible if you were
I'm sure.
doing a search and replace on the XML.
Well, in
But
the XML, yeah, like they have tags, but I don't know if
what's the
they're at
URL
some point
for?
they're gonna. If for example, you have a tag like a ticketing system, and you have a URL
Okay.
for a specific issue, you could say, okay, I want to add the URL for that issue. So
Oh, this could be
the
any
user,
URL because it's going to perform a get. Or I'm
yeah.
assuming it performs a get when this tag gets applied. Is that calling that URL?
No, it's the ability for you to click on the tag and go to the URL. So you
Oh.
add the URL, and then the tag can work both as a visual indicator and also as a link
Oh,
that will
wow. I
take
was
you to
assuming that
thing.
when the tag got applied, that it was going
Hmm.
to hit that URL as a get, which means that could actually be an API request, which could go to any service that you wanted to once
Well,
when something auto got tagged.
we have some exciting things we're working on that I think you'll be really jazzed about. Um, So let's say you have an important script that you're responsible for that
Uh-oh.
does what happened?
Watch. I'm clicking add.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Oh no.
it's the
What
common
happened?
it's the JSON error that we've become accustomed to, that we have to trap for all the time.
Okay, well, that looks like another thing to fix, basically.
I'm
I don't know
guessing
why that
it's not
happened.
because of the selections that I have here. Is it because of the name, maybe?
What did you type in as a name?
Errors?
That shouldn't be the case. You could add error. It must be a bug.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's definitely a bug. That's weird. Can you do adding a tag into scripts? Because I'm just
So
curious if it's maybe go
I'm in the
to the
global
scripts.
tags. It
Oh,
did
you
add
added
both.
the.
It did add both of them. It went through the process, but something didn't like
Huh.
the initial.
Didn't like
It's
the.
the
Yeah, it did something.
feedback.
Oh,
The feedback.
oh. I think I know what it is. I know what it is. We have
I'm
a
here to help.
yeah. We have a notification, and so I think it's because the notification is disabled for FileMaker. So whenever a solution is run, it'll pop up a notification on the top and it says, oh, solution running. So when you add a tag, it'll say tag added or updated or something. And so
Oh,
I think if you go,
the
yeah,
OS level notifications, taking advantage of
yes, yes.
FileMaker's new feature to show a local notification.
Yeah. I think you need to turn that on, and then once that's on, then that thing should get fixed. So,
Got it.
um, so what I was saying is, if you work on a large system, for example, and you're working as a team, and you're responsible for some script that, or did you want to add the tags to the script to the rows?
Do I
Just have
just?
to click it.
Uh-oh.
I think it's the same issue. It's just because it's sending that notification. So you see at the top, there's a tags toggle. So that just hides the row of data so you can see the tags. It's kind of like when you're in defined fields. I
Oh,
want
I
to show
see.
the comments or hide the comments so that you don't, because there's a limited amount of space. And yeah, we don't have a lot of space to show things. So the tagging is working. It's the notification that's not on, and you're getting those warnings.
Feedback from the JSON.
Yeah. So so again, to just close out that thought, you have a large system, and you're one of the coders who's responsible for the AWS integration of S3 or whatever, and you want to know if ever anyone touches your script, let's say, or modifies something in your script. What we have is some things that we're working on to be able to put watch items on things. So for example, one of our coders, he's an expert at AWS. He'd go in there and say, this script, if ever it gets changed, I want to be notified via Slack. And so if an analysis comes in and then some field got deleted and it was used by that script, he'll get a Slack notification saying someone changed your script, and now you better go look and see if it is still working. So that's very exciting for us because we're a large team, and we definitely could use features like that to stay on top of things that we're responsible for.
Nice. So it's almost like you're going to be able to use this for regression testing type stuff. I mean, or catching.
Yeah.
Not testing per se.
Yeah. Yeah.
You screwed my stuff up.
Yeah. Blame. Just wait till we get Git, and then you'll have blame. So anyway, there's a lot to dig in and to uncover and to
I know we've been recording for a while here, and I'm just there's so many things. I mean, I know these are just areas, but the things that I could do, I mean, I can export something. I mean,
we can export the data from
sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, show all. I can find anything that I want specific to an area.
So you could. That's using Logicator, by the way. That's a product Mark built. It's also available from the Beeswax website, and it's a beautiful product. It's really easy to integrate. We've integrated it in Inspector 7. We've integrated it in Inspector 8, and it's very cool. It's very cool. So it centralizes the search.
Let's see. Invoices shows something. INV. There we go. Invoice list, card list invoices, print invoices. I just put in INV.
Yeah.
Dude. All right.
There's also, like, I think you'd appreciate this, Matt. Go to show all the layouts. Okay, then on the left, where it says general styles and settings, click on styles, like in the header.
Oh, you're talking about right up
styles. Here? Yeah, right. That's right. Styles. And here you have the percentage and the number of objects that are on that layout that are either locally styled, layout styled, theme styled, or default style, right? And the amount of data if it's local style, that it will have to use in addition to be able to render those local styled objects. And so you have two objects. Looks like I
You're
can't.
talking,
If you
yeah,
zoom in
the
a little bit,
485 bytes.
yeah, you have two objects that are on that layout that are locally styled, and so you don't have a lot of objects on there. So what you could do is you could go hunt those down, give them a style, run inspector, and you'd see that number get cleared away. And so you can optimize.
Uh-oh, dropped out. Audio died. His pods. We ran his batteries out. But he's got a microphone, so the microphone should be working, but it's not currently. We'll see if Vince comes on. This is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. Are you there? Is your audio working? Nope, not quite yet. Something dropped out. And we're back. And guess what? Vince has better audio. He was not using the right microphone, probably.
Maybe I was using my AirPods there, audio. Who knows?
I think you were.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so much stuff here. Anything left that's major that you want people to know about before 800 or 1,000 people watch this in 2 or 3 days?
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, there's a lot there. It's been a lot of work to get switched over from DDR to save as XML.
Oh, I can
the
imagine.
Save as XML stuff keeps also changing, so it's kind of keeping us on our toes. I'd really appreciate you taking the time to do this, Matt. Help me also find some little glitches and things that we need to fix here and there. But I would say, take it for a spin, and then.
I'm going to do more than taking it for a spin. I want to start to use this with the solution that I'm developing because I want to see what I did. I can also imagine that there's got to be companies that if you want to know, I mean, internally, a lot of development for a lot of people, they think that development is actually the physical time that you're spending working on a solution. That is not correct. Development is a combination of the amount of time that you're strategically thinking about what you need to implement plus the amount of what you actually implement. So if you're out there and you're charging for your FileMaker development time and you're saying my thinking time doesn't matter, you're wrong. That is absolutely wrong, because your skill doesn't always translate to exactly when your fingers are typing on the keyboard. But knowing what comes out of this tells you how much time you are physically actually, working on the keyboard. The time difference between when you started to implement and change something to when you didn't, or when you finished it, is actually valuable. Then if I'm, okay in saying it, I would buffer and add to that. It's sort of like when a tradesman goes out and he's going to be on the job, but he's adding a little bit extra to his materials and his labor, just because what comes with that is the experience that comes along with the development, which is the thinking time. So, this in terms of providing just that value alone of what was the amount of time that I spent working on this particular feature. Because you can start, or you can do it before you start and then after you start, and then add on whatever you want. This is a wonderful tool for finding out what you want to charge for your billable hours. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah. And it's also helpful because it can tell you where things are referenced. It can tell you what problems you have so you can fix things. And the big deal also is that the footprint is never going to grow dramatically anymore, because the footprint is the solution itself. And again, like I said, if you adding code, it's going to grow with regards to what you're adding. But if you're refactoring and you're removing code, it's actually going to get smaller. So it's going to get smaller, and hopefully people will use it to improve systems and fix systems and build systems, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'm proud of it. And I can just say one other thing is Brendan Pierce is the person who I work with, and Simon Brown at Beeswax, who were also big collaborators in helping this become a reality. So I have a big thank you to Brendan and Simon. So yeah, there you go, Brendan.
There he is. There's the comment right there, because if he's creating it, he knows that he can actually it's all in one comment though. Brendan, you got to put this on a single line so that any comment that's prefixed with the word history or attribute or whatever, then you get your due props. And in here, Inspector now it comes up with a pie chart. It says Brendan's was responsible for 80%. He gets the trophy on his SVG. Oh man, right. Vince, this is awesome. If you have watched this video and you've watched it the whole way through, I can imagine that we have only touched 10% of what you can do with this, or the ways that you could use this tool to improve your development, your FileMaker solutions, all kinds of things. So definitely check the description below, and we'll see what Vince comes up with in terms of an offer. And other than that, any closing words, Vince?
No, thank you very much, Matt. Thank you. I'm looking at the right spot here.
I am up there as well. So thank you, my friend. As always, I'd like to wish everyone who watched and is watching much luck with your FileMaker development. And until next time, happy FileMaking.
Bye.
We hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial, and we'd like to say thank you for your subscription and your support. If you're not already a subscriber, head on over to www.filemakermagazine.com/subscribe for more information about the benefits of joining.